Hey everyone, so this is a video that's going to be kind of random. Quite literally, I'll be answering random questions that are generated from a website that asks a question. I've got no idea what they're going to be, but we'll see how they go. I just thought I'd pop in and film something, maybe it's like a little bonus video, something that's kind of simple, casual, easy to film, easy to edit, but also something that you might find interesting or fun. And you may learn something new about me. We'll see. I don't know what they are going to ask, but we'll find out together. And if you're interested or comfortable answering any of the questions, I'd love it if you could leave them in the comments below, because I'd like to learn a little bit about you all as well. So if you feel comfortable answering any of these, please feel free to do so down in the comments. So let's get started. So the first question is, what is the worst movie you've ever seen? So I've seen some pretty bad movies, I think we all have. But I guess it just depends on what your definition of bad is. So there's some movies that I enjoy watching, like some of the Hallmark movies and those really corny romance movies. And well, they're not a masterpiece or anything spectacular. They're not bad in my opinion. I still like them, but I know some people think they're kind of bad. There was one movie my husband and I started watching and we just had to stop. We were about 5-10 minutes in at the most, and it was just so bad that we couldn't justify wasting another hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it was on the movie. And I think it was a sequel to a movie that was fairly popular. I can't remember the name of it, but if I do, I'll leave it in the comments down below. But yeah, I can't remember what the name was, but essentially there were some soldiers on a rooftop party and then something happens and someone's laying on the ground and it looks like they're covered in ketchup, like tomato sauce, and it's just, the acting was bad, the scripting was bad, the filming of it was bad, like really shaky bad, and just, it was so bad. The next question is, what's the best piece of advice you've ever received? That's a tough one. I guess just sometimes it's the simple things, like make sure you take time for yourself, make sure you look after yourself. I guess they're things that we're told, but sometimes it's easier to hear them than to actually do them. And sometimes it sounds quite simple, but you actually do need to make time to do some of those things. Making time for yourself. So that's something that is important, and it's something that I am trying to focus on a bit more. And it's, you know, it's not easy, but it feels selfish and sometimes you feel guilty, but it's important. And now more than ever I've realised that it is. So, you know, it sounds so simple, but not many people do it. So yeah. Next question. What languages do you speak? I am not blessed with the ability to learn foreign languages. I can pick up some words. I know a few sentences in Japanese. I know a few words, like a couple of phrases in Korean. I know a few words here and there in other languages, but as far as being able to speak fluent anything apart from English, I can't. It just is something that I can't comprehend. Like it doesn't click to me. It just doesn't register for me. So I can't necessarily, even if I can recite something, if somebody was to say it to me, I wouldn't be able to understand it or know what they're saying. So I really wish I could, but it's just not something that I can do, unfortunately. But that's okay, you know. What would it be? Next question. What would you do on a free afternoon in the middle of the week? So if I had a free afternoon in the middle of the week, I guess that would depend on if anybody else was with me. To be honest, it's probably gonna be something boring, like go grocery shopping before everybody else gets to the grocery store. maybe even go for just a drive somewhere. Mow the lawn. I know that doesn't sound like fun, but I guess my thinking would be if I can get some of the stuff done around the house that I would normally do on a weekend, it would mean that the weekend's free for other things. Next question, pirates or ninjas? I know pirates generally are doing things for bad reasons, but to ninjas, I don't know much about them. But I might just err on the side of caution and say maybe ninjas, because I know pirates generally aren't doing things for good reasons. Let's have a look. Next question. What incredibly strong opinion do you have that is completely unimportant in the grand scheme of things? That coriander should not even exist. And for those of you overseas, cilantro. It's terrible. It doesn't belong in anything. It's horrible. I think it's because I've got that gene that makes it taste like soap. Look, I get that it doesn't taste like that for everybody, but for me it's disgusting, and I hate it when I go somewhere and order something and it doesn't specify that it's in there, because I know for some people it might not make a big difference, but if there is the smallest amount, like a grain of rice amount less, or even smaller than that, it tastes so strong and horrible to me. I'm quite passionate about that, aren't I? Yeah. And it's really not that important in the grand scheme of things, but in the moment when you've paid for something and you want to enjoy it. Next question. If you had to change your name, what would you change it to? When I was younger, there used to be, I think, a TV show. And there was a girl on there called Beth, and I really liked that name. I'm not sure I would change my name to that now. I mean, I like the name Winter for a girl, so maybe Winter. Next question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Like, are we talking traditional superpowers here, like strength, invisibility, or like made up superpowers? Because I would like to predict the future. That would be kind of cool. I think you could use it for all kinds of applications. I mean, realistically, if you were given any superpower, that'd be cool, right? Like invisibility would have its uses, but would it be good uses though? Maybe, maybe not. Like strength you could put to good use. Flying you could put to good use. What other superpowers are there? But yeah, I don't know, predicting the future could be kind of cool. Another random question, pizza or tacos? Pizza. Tacos are nice, yes, but I think you can do more with pizza. And like pizza's an any time of day food, whereas I don't think tacos are necessarily an any time of day food. What story does your family always tell about you? There are lots of stories that my parents have about me. One of the more popular ones, I guess, there's a couple. So one of the popular ones is when I was younger, so when I was 10, we went to America and we went to Disneyland, and I was not jet lagged, whatever the opposite would be. Like I couldn't get to sleep. For the life of me, I was like wide awake. I was wired. So my dad was walking me around the hotel. I think it was the Howard Johnson or something? It was across from Disneyland, but up the road a little bit. I think it's still there. But this was a long time ago now, like 26 years ago or something like that. But there's a video of me, and it's on an old video camera. It's on an actual videotape that my parents maybe one day will convert across to digital. If I had it, I'd put it in here. But there's like footage of me just talking non-stop, would not shut up. I don't even know what it's about. All kinds of things. Like when I was a kid, I just wouldn't shut up. Put me in front of the camera, I just would keep going. There's other stories of when I was around at like a picnic, or my dad's company that he worked for. They sometimes had like picnics and stuff with his colleagues. I had a money box, and I'd carry my money box and be like shaking the money box, asking people for money. Wasn't prompted at all. I just enjoyed counting coins when I was a kid, and counting the money. And sometimes I would also take people's drinks from their eskies, like the coolers, and sell it back to them. Completely unprompted. But yeah, so those are kind of funny stories. What's on your bucket list this year? Look, if you had asked me a couple of years ago, it would be completely different. I don't really have a bucket list as such. I think it would be for me to work on building up savings as much as I can, because my husband and I are looking to try to move to a different property in the next couple of years. So sell the house we have and move to somewhere that has a bit more land. Not necessarily a new house or anything like that. It's just somewhere with a bit of room that we can enjoy nature a little bit more, and not be too far away from my family, which is quite a lot to ask considering the internet's also important for us. And at least in Australia, there's not many places that have fibre or NBN, for those of you in Australia, like fibre to the curb, fibre to the premises. And just with the work that we do, it's really important, even though it might seem not important for some people. But getting that mix and not having to pay millions of dollars is very difficult, even when we're looking at it's not cheap. And at the moment, it's not something that we can do. So that's something that we're aiming for. So I guess that would be kind of like on a bucket list. Next question, what is one of the great values that guides your life? I think that changes. I guess family. It's really important to me, and as time goes on, I think that's evident that it's even more important. So just having family and people that support you and love you around you, it's really important for me. So yeah, that's something. I can see this is going for a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I'll answer a couple more questions, and maybe I'll do another one of these soon. So there's a couple of these are coming up. Another question, who inspires you to be better? I guess a few people, and it is the same answer as before, I guess family. So there's things that I learn from different people, but the people that I care about the most and the people's opinions that I care about the most, apart from my own, and making sure that I'm happy with who I am and what I'm doing. What's the best compliment you've ever received? I'm enough. What more can you say? What more can you ask for than being told that you are enough? That what you are is, you don't need to be anything more. Because whatever you are, whenever you are that way, is enough. I think that's a compliment. I don't think that's meant in a bad way at all. I like to see it as being a good thing, that even you change as you grow and learn. And no matter what it is, that's enough. And you can want more, that's fine. But then I think it's normal to learn and grow, and just remember though that you're enough. Oh, I can't end on this one. This one's sad. So maybe I'll do two more. I'll do this one and another one. This one's what makes you cry. There's a few things. Obviously there's some really sad things that you can think about, and without fail it will make me cry. But if anything happens to an animal in a movie, for example, that I will cry without fail. And there's some movies that I avoid watching. Like there's websites that tell you if things happen to people or animals or whatever it might be. I check them before I watch things because I just can't handle it, and that's one of them. But what makes me cry? Just that, I guess. You know, obviously bad things happen and you can't avoid that. It's just, it is what it is. It's part of life. But I guess outside of the normal, just crappy stuff that happens, sometimes music, certain songs that I've listened to for such a long time, and even fairly recently, even songs from like Nickelback and people, like there's some songs that, depending on what's going on in my life and how I am feeling, what I'm going through, sometimes you'll hear a song but you've never really listened to it. And it's the same with people. Just because you can hear somebody doesn't mean you're listening to them. There's a difference. I think sometimes listening is a skill, but hearing people you just can do. But with those songs, I really just listen to the lyrics, and then sometimes they really resonate with me. I think it depends on what I'm going through, but sometimes it will be enough to make me cry. So, but music is a really big deal for me. Always has been, I think always will be. So yeah, songs probably is one of the things where even something that sounds stupid can make me cry. Okay, here we go. Here's a happy one. We'll end on this one. What is your favourite candy? So if you think like candy, chocolate bars, things like that, I would say if I had to pick one, Fry's Turkish Delight. So it's the Turkish Delight that comes in the golden pink wrapper. Controversial opinion perhaps. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I love it. It's so good. Cherry Ripe's pretty close up there. Toblerone's also not bad. But, oh, and Terry's Chocolate Orange. They're not too bad either. But I don't eat a lot of chocolate these days, but Fry's Turkish Delight. That's what I'm going for. I think that'll do though, because this went on for a lot longer than I thought, but it was kind of fun. So I hope you learnt something new. And if you want to answer any of those questions, if you're comfortable doing that, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'd love to read some and learn more about you. But that's it for now. So I hope you're all having a fantastic night, morning, afternoon, whatever it might be, wherever you are. And I will probably do another one of these again. And if there's any questions though that you want answered, so some random stuff, leave them below too, because I can include them in my next video. But I all hope you're well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.